Hey everybody, it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I have another homeschooling video for you guys today, and this one I've been talking about for a little while. If you guys have been watching my channel for the last few weeks, you've noticed that I have started to do kind of day in the life vlogs, and in one of those vlogs I mentioned that we are going to be switching our homeschool curriculum already for history. We just started our homeschool year on August 6th, and then here it is barely a month later, and we have already made the first change of the year, hopefully the last. But we did decide to make a change. It was not intentional. I really had not planned on making any curriculum changes, but that's just kind of what happens sometimes when you homeschool. You just make a split decision about something, or maybe you've been thinking about making a change, but you didn't quite know when or if it was going to happen. I really didn't see this coming. I knew that I wanted to try this program that we switched to down the road. I just didn't plan on doing it quite so soon. But I think everything works out for a reason. And so I thought I would sit down today and share with you guys a little of why we changed and what we changed to. So many of you guys have followed me for a while, and you know that we have used Story of the World for years. It's been over 2 years already. And I love Story of the World. I have no set problems with it. I don't think any curriculum is perfect. But I didn't really have any reason to switch necessarily because everything was working out okay, but I just got to the point where I was getting kind of bored with it, honestly. The plan was, though, to finish Story of the World Volume 3, because we're doing it as a group subject with my 3rd grader and my 9th grader, to finish Story of the World 3 this year, and then next year my oldest daughter would go off and kind of do her own thing for high school history, and my youngest daughter, I was going to try the Good and the Beautiful's history program with her for 4th grade. Well, we did start Story of the World Volume 3. We got a couple chapters in. I think we were on chapter 8 or 9. So got a couple chapters in, and I just kept thinking about the good and the beautiful. I just kept thinking about it. I kept seeing videos about it, and it just kept popping up into my mind. I really didn't want to wait till next year to try it. So Story of the World, like I said, there's nothing really wrong with it, and I do think that there are ways to make it more challenging for an older child. They do have, you can purchase curriculum, like you can purchase comprehension questions and a test that goes along with each level of Story of the World. So I did that with my oldest. She'd been doing those for a couple years just because I wanted to give her that extra work. And then of course with the Story of the World curriculum, they give you suggested activities and books you can add to the curriculum to enhance what you're learning and what you're talking about in your history. But I was just honestly getting a little bit tired of it. I felt like there was not enough for my oldest daughter, even though she was doing the tests and the comprehension questions. And I feel like a lot of it was going over my youngest daughter's head. I feel like I wanted something that was more interactive for my youngest, and I wanted something that was even more involved and challenging for my oldest. Story of the World is a good program, and there's nothing wrong with it necessarily. You can definitely make it what you want to make it with all of their suggested activities and things like that, but for us, it got a little bit boring and mundane. There was a lot of crafts that we weren't really interested in doing that many crafts, but that was really mostly all it was crafts. And then you would have a coloring sheet every day that the child would color while they listened to me read the chapter. And I just felt like it was kind of monotonous. And I really wanted something that was going to be a lot more entertaining for me and for the girls. I just kept seeing that The Good and the Beautiful has a history game, how they have readers that you read along with the different units that go along with what you're talking about in the unit, and how they have different student workbooks for each level of child. So you've got a 1 through 3, you've got a grades 1 through 3 student workbook, you've got 4 through 6, you've got 7 through 9, and you've got 10 through 12. So depending on your kids' age ranges, each child is going to have their own workbook that's going along with the lesson you're teaching that is geared towards their level of understanding and how challenging you want it to be. So that was actually perfect because my oldest daughter can do the grades 7 through 9 workbook this year, and my youngest daughter is doing the grades 1 through 3 workbook this year to make sure that what they're doing in their work is on grade level. So I really, really like that, and I really, really love that there is a game included, so it makes it fun, something we can play together. Since I'm doing the history with them, I can play the game with them, and to really reinforce whatever we're learning in history at that time, there's a game for it. How fun is that? And there are chapter books that go along with each unit that we are reading together, or we'll listen to the ebook and you know, listen to these stories that are classic literature and really good pieces of literature that go along with these units. There are recipes, there are games and activities and coloring sheets, and the Bible, of course, is interwoven all throughout the curriculum. A non-denominational Christian biblical stance is in the curriculum. I also really like how some of the lessons in the Good and the Beautiful's history program have audio that we can listen to. So in addition to them listening to me read a chapter book, or we can listen to some of those books on audiobook, which I just rented the Golden Goblet from the library for an audiobook so that I don't have to read it, and they can read to the girls and they can listen while I go and unload the dishwasher or whatever. There's definitely some options there, but in addition to those additional reading assignments that you can read to them, or you can have your child read, and there's certain lessons that have an audio that goes along with the lesson, and so it's usually like different voices that are acting out and talking about a different theme that's being taught in the lesson. So I really like that. That's really exciting. It's a little bit less talking for me because sometimes it is tiring to talk all the time, especially when you're doing a read aloud. Like if I'm reading them a chapter book and I've already read 1 or 2 chapters and then I have to go and read something else and read something else, it's really nice to have that audio on there every couple lessons to really help me out a little bit. And it gives them a different voice to listen to, because I'm sure they're sick of listening to me talk all the time too. I find that they retain more sometimes when it's not me saying it, because they are basically mommy deaf by this point. So that's a really nice option to have that the Good and the Beautiful offers as well. So that is really ultimately why we switched. Honestly, it was because I was tired of doing Story of the World, and I was feeling like that my oldest daughter was not having enough challenging exercises to do for history. So I'm really excited that we made a change, even though I realized it was so soon into the homeschool year. Sometimes that happens and it's okay. And it's okay if we ever switch again. I mean, that's okay. You don't have to use the same curriculum every year until your kids graduate. You know, you can change along as time goes on. You can change based on your needs or your kids' needs or both. It really is okay. And I just really felt the urge and the desire to go ahead and try the Good and the Beautiful's history this year instead of waiting until next year to try it. And I think a question I'm probably going to get is the Good and the Beautiful's history program challenging enough for a high schooler? Because I got that question a lot with Story of the World. And I want to kind of help you guys and answer that question. So I am going to be doing a video later on in the school year, to answer that question of whether I think it's hard enough and challenging enough for a high schooler. And then just overall my opinion of the Good and the Beautiful's history curriculum. So make sure if you have any questions, concerns, or thoughts about that you stay tuned, because that video will be coming up. And if you're curious about the Good and the Beautiful's history program, check out the website. I will have it linked below. You can look through a lot of the pages from the teacher's manual. You can look at some of the pages from the student workbooks for all of the levels. I think you'll be really impressed. I think you'll be really impressed and kind of want to try it too, like I did. So hopefully this video was helpful. Make sure if it was, you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and check out my homeschooling playlist. I will have that link for you guys in the description box as well. That is where every single homeschooling video I've ever made lives. So if you want to see more about what we're using for curriculum or how we organize the schoolroom or whatever, all those videos are in that playlist. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.